And now knows who I am as we go right into Dragonshire as you expected. And this will be, of course, a choice from coming out from MVP, Miracle.
The MVP teams are super predictable with their map drafting, so
Mhm.
this is where I thought we'd go. Was thinking maybe they change up with Infernal Shrine to take that soul-crushing win, perhaps with a really aggressive hero. But Dragonshire is probably going to be a longer game, which MVP excels at, which is how they were able to win the first game.
And this will be a map. This is a map where Raven got crushed so many times along with Sky Temple. It's also because they don't really prioritize the global heroes. They've only played Falstad twice and Dehaka once and a lot of ETC, but before that stage dive came in, the global EXP on the other side basically snowballed so much by the time they hit 10. So Raven really had the hard time. Let's see if they're going to have a hard time against MVP Miracle again. This time maybe they will be the one picking that global hero from the beginning.
Yeah, with the Tastar ban, I think they're trying to grab the Falstad right away. Not going to ban Zarya, going to force Miracle to do so. And they're going to take Falstad. Alternatively, they could... Okay, well, Miracle's going to ban Falstad, so they could grab the Zarya pick. It would force a Vala pick most likely out of Miracle. Actually take Malfurion first. This is a pretty rare rotation. Malfurion usually doesn't get picked in first. He's a hero that's really strong and you always want him. When you get him alone, you feel like, oh, I could have maybe gotten him later. It's not like the big impactful hero. Kind of like Murden when he was in first pick rotation. It feels very similar.
Yep, exactly. And with that Malfurion, Miracle has the upper hand. I feel like if you...
It feels like they're trying to bait like a Zarya Vala, you know what I mean? It's like, why would you give them both if you unless you wanted them to have it?
I think it's... Oh, who knows? We can't really
Sure,
get
we
into
don't
their
know,
head.
but it just feels like... I feel like if I'm Miracle right now, I'm like, well, don't we just lock it in, right? Or do we
And
just
also,
not?
Also having Malfurion is of course a good pick for the first pick, but it gives a lot more options to actually MVP Miracle. Well, you can hide your own strategy, what kind of team comp you're building around, because Malfurion just fits into every single thing. But it gives the upper hand to MVP Miracle when you are the one having the first ban. Of course, after the rotation comes around, you also have the option to pick two more. But Miracle already got Zeratul, which they wanted, and Dehaka, a global.
So, Miracle just seems to be avoiding the Zarya Vala trap that Raven may be trying to set here. Did not work. Now they've, with the control over globals with the Falstad ban and the Dehaka pickup, they're probably going to be going into ETC again, which Diyoung, I feel like I'm not too confident with his ETC. I'm going to grab Tychus. I imagine with the ETC here. And I thought maybe when I saw the Tastar ban and the Malfurion first pick, I was like, they're trying to do something here. They're being a little bit creative. But so far, it's been pretty standard. They're going to take Varian over the ETC, though, which we saw a lot more the first week and a little bit of the second week. But this week, he's dropped down in priority quite a bit. You need him with Ragnaros.
Yep, and we will likely choose Ragnaros banned from Miracle, if not taken at the later rotations of pick. And also, yeah, banned or picked.
When you have two melees already, and Varian pairs really well with Ragnaros, you just grab the ban there, which is why the Varian pick seems a little bit weaker than an ETC pick. I'm going to look actually and check here for Diyoung. He has played no games of Varian at all in this tournament. In fact, looks like no one on Raven has played the hero. Oh, no, wait, that's not true. He's still played it 5 times. Oops.
Yeah, that was on top of the list.
It was covered in one of my papers. But anyway, he's played it as many times as he's played ETC. I feel like his ETC play has dominated him, though. Like, I feel like when I look at Diyoung, I feel he's an ETC player. Either way, they're not going to have the pairing with Ragnaros this time, so H82 is going to have to play something else. The Valero worked really well last game. It suits his play style. We'll see what he picks up this time. Dehaka is removed, so he can't play that either. Might be an Artanis game. Could be.
Yeah, could be indeed. And after following up with Zeratul and Dehaka, they have to build up their comp. Kerazim is not banned, so they can either go for the last pick. It's on to them. They can go for a little bit more tankier front line, even Muradin. And also Tychus taken and Li Ming banned, they can go for Gul'dan for that wave clear, or even Sergeant Hammer to have that siege mode and consistently attacking from the other side.
There's Hammer. One thing they're missing is a straight tank now. Could just be the Muradin again. Part of me was hoping we might see a Jaina, see something a little bit flashy and funny, but it's going to be more standard.
That wombo with Void Prison, yes, was perfectly in... And ETC is still open. Quite surprised. And if they actually went in with that ETC Zero Tool Jaina, that was possible.
They could still take the ETC instead of Muradin this time, but I think they're going to go with the Muradin. It seems just super solid. And both Dami and Hong Kong have been playing Muradin really well this tournament. I assume it's going to be Dami on the Zeratul again if they position swap from game to game with the same heroes. I don't even know what to say, but we'll see. As Raven is now looking for potential secondary damage here. And could be a melee. It could be like a Thrall Li Ming pick. Sort of a final rotation here. We've seen them do that before. Li Ming really strong when paired with Tychus. And Thrall going to give you some extra CC, and he's a strong solo laner. Going to be Gul'dan. And we'll see Artanis again. I pointed out earlier, it's one of those games, HA2, top lane Artanis.
Let's see if these swaps are as good as no chat swap as we saw earlier today. And Miracle has the last pick. Thinking a little bit more stronger line with CC. Muradin can actually finish this draft pretty nicely. But of course, Miracle may have something crazy that we don't know coming up at the last moment. Tyrael would also fit in pretty nicely too.
Tyrael would help in terms of protection. Can also squat on the shrine and would help against Artanis in the solo lane for when they're there when Dahaka goes down potentially, because that's going to be the main one. But it's going to be Muradin instead. So Muradin comes in, was as we expected, and Miracle kind of plays to their own strengths and styles here. Raven has a solid comp. The only thing I'm worried about is the Artanis. Will this work? It's a strong solo melee. We've seen HA2 play it before. He's had no success yet. Artanis is currently 2-8, or excuse me, 2-7 in this tournament. We'll see if they can make it work. MVP Miracle wants this win. They want to take match point. It's their map pick, the map they've chosen many times in the past, went ahead in the best of 5. Raven still looking for that first one. We'll see if Dragonshire is the map to make it happen. MVP Miracle, Gold Club World Championship finalists. Onkono on Muradin, Dami on Zeratul, Sniper on Dahaka, Crazy moving on Sergeant Hammer, and Darvish on Karazim.
And their opponent in red, Raven Joju on Malfurion, Hamlin on Gul'dan, NMX on Tychus, Young on Varian, and H82 on Artanis.
Going to that level 1 fight. Artanis here, a very powerful hero at level 1 for his swap potential. We're going to see that matchup with him and Honkono right down here in the bush. There's the scouting drone. Going to force him out of said bush. HA2 doesn't even throw down the prism. And he's not going to build into marksman at level 1, sadly. I like that. It was really exciting earlier. And it's actually going to be Echoed Corruption coming out for Hamlin here this time.
Yeah, gonna look for that late game burst damage coming out from Gul'dan. As Hamlin also have that wave clear against Sergeant Hammer. Let's see which wave clear is actually faster or better. And Kona comes around from the side. Notice the scouting drone.
In terms of CC, Raven has the better end of it. And Honkono actually is probably going to die here, actually.
And Dami just looking his...
He just watches his friend die.
He just watches his friend die. Yes, exactly what I was going to say.
Something you could do there. They have the better CC, and so they are going to win the early game, just like the last game. Sergeant Hammer doesn't have to just be an early pushing hero, though. If you get an edge or you get a Dragon Knight, she empowers it with her sieging ability. Ranged attacks are incredibly strong. As Hamlin just clears this wave really quickly. There's no way out for Honkono there. Maybe the only way out is if he dodged that corruption. Oh boy. Hamlin, too aggressive here. Dami comes in to seal the deal. And that's going to be a kill, so we're 1 for 1 here. HA2 with a very aggressive swap attempt there. would have swapped into minions and would have been pretty strong if he had hit it, but does not go off.
Well, we saw H82 playing Artanis before, and as you mentioned before, it's going to be a different style of Artanis, as we saw No Chat playing Artanis. No Chat actually favors having that swap at later stage of the team fight, trying to just chase down a target, trying to swap after the team fight. But instead, H82, you'll see the swaps happening from beginning of the game, which makes a lot of difference in terms of pressure for the backline of the opponent.
Well, he backs off here. He's been historically pretty often caught in the top lane there from these ganks, and MVP Black and MVP Miracle now in this second best of 5 is looking for that. Gul'dan gets picked here. Hamlin goes down. H82 rotates down to try to relieve some of that pressure, but a bit too slow. Honkono was actually absorbing so much damage. What's cool about Honkono absorbing damage, like even when he took the turret shots earlier while rooted, is kind of just turns into an advantage. Like, okay, well, once I walk out of combat, I'm going to get all my health back anyways. And this Wymerden is so strong. I'd say right now in this meta, he was strong for different reasons before, but right now that's like the #1 reason. You can absorb so much for very little cost. So Honkono is going to absorb some more of that with this channel being interrupted by Deyoung. Trying to unleash that Dragonite. Now that's a cool way to take the shrine. That's how you take a shrine in style.
Yes, that was very cool to see the swap, and that's how you cancel that channeling away from Dehaka. And Honkono is also here. H82 does soak up some damage, but his teammates joined the fight. Earlier, there's that charge. Sniper getting very low.
Okay, nice root here, though. Will Sniper actually get body blocked away? Yes, he will. No burrow available here. Honkono is also in trouble. Does get pushed back. And Raven has, showed their early game and their aggressive compositions for that early game pick potential. They've had a lot of success so far with this, especially in this best of 5. It's like a fiercer team when they make this work.
And their rotations and how they actually go around the map and just to get gank and pick on heroes seem very suiting for their game style so far, which looks a lot better compared to games before they played. I believe they played five best 5s already.
They have.
Yes, they have
yes.
0-5. Yes.
Ooh, no swap here. No follow-up. Very low, in fact. NMX, though, will go down, just sitting a bit too far in this lane. And this is going to naturally happen when you push the bot lane as a try 3-man. Your mid lane becomes weaker as a result if he's not there as a 4. So Miracle punishing the fact that they had to split that way and gets another kill. The unleash attempt here denied as Dehaka takes the top lane, and Sergeant Hammer looks to take the bot as well. And this is actually going to perhaps be a reverse channel here. No, not quite. It's really tough for Sergeant Hammer to actually fight a Gul'dan 1v1.
Yeah, one few good news to Raven. Even if they don't have a global, they're really making this work with their rotations, and also Gul'dan stacked up a lot on those corruptions just by what we've seen. So that should be, and they actually get that Dragonite even after getting that.
The Void Spike just goes down too slow. it's like, oh, if it blows up, they deny it, but it just doesn't go off fast enough. That's kind of funny because that's actually like designed, to be used for the extra jump at 7. And it's like, oh, I wish it actually was a little bit shorter here.
Yeah, that's what you get for not picking that wormhole at 7. Wormhole, we can go blink in and just blink out after doing some damage, which I actually personally choose a lot more.
Well, me too, because I'm not as good as these players, but,
Yeah, you need a lot more mechanics to actually end. Zeratul will be focused for some time, and that will be the scares of Zeratul. If you go in hard, there's always variant who can target lock you, stun and taunted. You can't really blink away. By that time, you will be done. So Zeratul, as Dami is playing on Zeratul, has to be careful when he comes in.
And this is part of the reason why they chose Varian here. They knew that Ragnaros was going to be banned. You'd be foolish not to. But it's a soft counter to Zeratul. See if he can get that counter taunt pick now that he has 10, because he didn't have it until just recently. Siege Giant camps traded here, as in the top lane we see that extra soak from Honkono. It's actually, from Sniper. It's actually really amazing how little, like not even, I was gonna say little ahead, behind an EXP Miracle is, despite having that Dahaka Global. Actually behind an EXP by about 30%. Joju is jumped on here by Dami. Dami wants to commit. He doesn't have Ice Block. He doesn't have it until level 13. So he commits here to that silence as well. And
get stunned, get some damage from NMX, but not enough as they only have 2 on 2 on Kano. They didn't even have to pop that avatar. Big swap comes out from H82. Dami gets some damage, but just blinks out from the fight.
All right, pretty even game in terms of basically everything right now. Raven gonna go for the fear here to actually try to get the pick onto Crazy Moving. Good palm here from Darvish. Crazy Moving will escape as a result. Avoids that swap.
That was close as he can actually get, but did not hit the target. If it did, that would have been the game-changing even after that great palm save from Darvish.
Yeah, and that's Horrify and Twilight Dream wasted only for a palm, so more heroic efficiency here for Miracle. As HA2 gets jumped on here. Oh, the swap. That was actually pretty cool, but I don't know what's going to stop him, though.
And actually, it blinds them, so there's actually almost no damage coming out from all 3 of them.
HAE2 is actually playing a really good Artanis this game. I've been critical of his Artanis in the past, but today it's really on point with the swaps. There's the kill onto Zeratul here. Dami goes down, and Raven takes control of this fight.
Yeah, that's the power-up CC with Root against those Zeratul right there, and he has to be careful, as we mentioned before. Even after having that global presence with Dahaka on top, MVP Miracle's not really using that with too much power, because they try to look for picks, but they end up not much with those picks, and it is actually H82 making super plays on top. That's what's making the difference.
Yeah, he's gonna squat this Shrine against Sniper in the top lane here. One Unleash attempt is foiled, but the second Unleash will happen. NMX will take the Dragon Knight and walk down mid. As we see actually 2 skirmishes here, one between Darvish and Deong, and actually the second between Sniper and basically everybody on Raven. He did have Burrow available. It's expired now. There's the immediate taunt right afterwards. Another swap, the double swap. The Horrify goes off, the silence as well. Looking for 2 picks here. Honkono comes into range here, so Darvish can dash. Uses the second dash to get away. Heroics used, but they get the kill. And there's another double swap here. Oh my God, H82 on point today. Whoa! That's why I just can't even.
Yeah, that's exactly why you play Artanis. Has it not been showing really great power in HGC Korea, especially it didn't really hit targets that much, but today Artanis is on point, on fire with H82. It might be his best day ever so far.
Yeah, Dami had to blink there, because the second swap attempt there was super good. Oh, Hamlin doesn't have the Echoed Corruption stack done yet, but it's got to be getting really close.
Yeah, at least around 30-ish or something.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him hit a decent amount of these. He's actually going to do it over the wall right now, hits double. And look at this, all this CC coming down here. Dami has to blink away.
Yeah, they don't even want to take the camp. They just wanted to get the pick. And H82, as he has been chasing good targets, and with that 13 Graviton Vortex, he can also get 2 targets at 1 swap, which we saw twice in a row now.
Okay, Hamlin here dodges that Stormbolt really well done. Honkono is going to have regrets as the Horrify goes off here. Raven with the lead here now, 5v4. And they are playing out of their minds. This is their best series yet by a million miles. Another swap onto Sniper. He's taunted. Does use his Burrow to try to get away. Darvish wants to go in for the save, but it's not worth it. He leaves.
He gets blown up before he gets his HP back. And Deong goes right in, charge, and stunt. Taunt is available in 1 second. Try to use that swap, misses.
Okay, Crazy Moving caught here. The big Void Prison. Odin is used now. NMX wanted to follow up here. Perhaps a bit too early on that Odin. Not really going to be able to do much, but it gives them a little bit more sustain and wave clear to push this wave in to that keep wall. Level 16's up now for Raven. And actually, HA2 is holding on to that level 16 talent. Okay, just going to take that upgrade for the charge.
And taunted. Avatar even palmed
Not even
just
worth
to
it.
save Hongkona, because they saw Hongkona go down so many times. Darvish got scared there for a second.
Sniper getting some extra soak up here, really trying to limit the amount of time they have that 16 talent advantage against them. As we see, this is a good opportunity for them to use this extra pressure to take the neutral camp. They're not going to do so, though. They have control that bot right now. Looks like they wanted to rotate up and go for a pick. Again, with how well HA2's been hitting these swaps, I don't blame them, because it suddenly feels like Artanis is God, and everything I said about Artanis in the early part of the season is just untrue.
Yeah, Artanis also went for Seismic Wound on 16, lowering the armor. They just want to get pick, lower the armor, and just take one target out.
Like, Raven just got this for free. MVP Miracle gave it to them. They did not want to contest down a talent tier. So this aggressive rotation up, even though it didn't find picks, scared Miracle to just take bruisers and walk away. The bruiser cap with Sniper in the top lane is doing a lot for them. Oh man, look at this swap! He doesn't get what he wanted there, but they get the kill onto Darvish. The root was ready. That was so coordinated. They had the root ready, looking for two. Here's another swap on a crazy moving. This is out of control. The root goes down this time, and Honkono's doing what he can, but this is a big problem. NMX is already on the core here. Or if I going down.
He doesn't even care about the team fight. He just wants to snipe that core. But Mark White Ward, as I don't want to be too critical on Raven, but they cannot. I don't think they can core yet. As
They need more picks.
Yeah, they're very low on health also.
Okay, Sniper doesn't get the kill on the Ham on here. Everyone's super low. They had the core call there, but maybe some disjointed communication. Okay, they're going to turn back around. Here's the taunt. Another swap, a short one. Sniper goes down. This is Raven's game of their lives right now as they push down mid. This is the best play we have seen on Artanis in Korea. This is the best play we have seen out of Raven this season. This is a huge upset, and they are going to take their first game of the tournament here on the core right now. Palm self-used here for Darvish. He's trying to buy time. HA2's really low. He goes down. Oh, is this a throw? It doesn't look like it. NMX too high on health. They're going to get the core down, and Raven will take their very first win of the season. Oh, my man. Oh, H82. Oh, wow. That was... We have never seen play like that out of this player. It has never been this good. And
my goodness.
For the first time in Korea, teams got to be scared of Artanis.
I apologize how one-sided this series could actually... I said that before. And never mind. H82